Awesome. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Sunday night Zoom call. My name is Audrey McLeod. This is my husband, James McLeod, and we're calling in from Knoxville, Tennessee. We are finishing our first week in our 90-day action plan. So we want to hear from you. Let's talk about this for a second in the chats. How are you guys feeling after your very first 7 days kicking off our 90-day action plan? Lane and Chelsea are feeling excited. How's everybody else feeling? How's everybody else feeling?
We'll wait.
Yeah, we want to hear from you guys. Dallas is feeling motivated. Taylor's expectant. Joy's pumped up. Joy, I've been watching your Instagram stories. Your energy is so different. You are pumped up, I can tell, stepping in new levels of leadership. Kendra is excited, planning an overview. Brookie's wonderful. Brooke's amazing, you guys. I love that girl. It's a little bit of a roller coaster, but Ty's excited where she's headed. People are excited. Megan's a little anxious. Lisa's ready to hit her goals. So good. All right, guys. Well, it has been 7 days into our 90-day action plan. These first 7 days, they don't define you, whether it was an amazing first week or it was a little bit slower of a week. The beautiful part about life and about Isagenix is things can change instantly when you make a decision and you set that intention and you move forward. So just a couple little shout outs that I wanted to share before we get into the call for tonight. Cheyenne Britt, who's on this call, she joined our team 30 days ago. She got herself to Celebration. She enrolled 9 people in her first 30 days and made nearly $1,000. And let me just tell you, I am just so overjoyed for her, because when you get to know her more and you get to hear her story, which all of you will, Isagenix was an answer to her prayer, and she is hustling and she is working, and I'm so proud of her. And I just wanted to give her a shout out. Leslie Ford hit manager and the 5-cycle bonus for the second time this week. So let's give it up for Leslie. She is amazing. Just such an amazing example of persistent and consistent action. And then lastly, Alex Callan, who's in Wisconsin, you guys. She hosted a brunch get-together for her team in Wisconsin, and 15 of her team members showed up to that brunch, and she texted me and told me it was like a mini celebration where she just allowed all of these girls to share what's been going on in their health since Isagenix. A lot of them are fired up to get their products paid for. And I know that Alex is taking that action because she got herself to Celebration, and we're just so proud of her. I think it's just really, really exciting to see the new energy and the new life that's flowing into so many people. You haven't missed the mark. You are exactly where you need to be. Your journey and your course is so distinctly made for you. And when you lean into that and you embrace that journey, amazing things happen. And so we're just so excited about what is happening. And like we said on the call last week, we are focusing these first 30 days on simplicity through connecting. We want to talk to you about connecting and about the art of connecting and what that looks like in your network marketing business.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, if you had to do a personal evaluation, how confident would you say that you are with going out and connecting with a new person, belly to belly, who you do not know? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I'm bulletproof, I can go
or
talk
on social media,
or,
either or.
Yeah, just how confident?
Connecting.
How confident are you?
Cheyenne's a 15.
Come on.
Yeah, baby girl. She's like, I got my why. I'm going. Lisa's a 10. Joni's a 10. Alex Callan's a 10. Tracy's a 5. Leslie's a 7. Lane and Chelsea's a 10.
What was the question? How confident are you connecting with a brand new person who you do not know on a scale from 1 to 10? I love it. We got some confident
Carly
people.
in person, 10. I have been hearing stories about Carly. Taylor Smith's texting me, like Carly's leaning
Wow,
her head out of the window, connecting with random people. This is amazing.
Wow.
Okay,
so we don't even need to do this anymore then, I guess. Because we just have, thank you guys so much for joining. No, I'm kidding. So one, I love that everybody, thank you for being honest. If you're not a 10, if you're not a 15, thank you for being honest and just saying, this is where I'm at. Because if we can't start there, you guys, then I don't believe there's a real chance of winning. We've got to first and foremost be honest with ourselves and say, this is where I'm at. This is not where Odd's at. This is not where anybody else is at. This is where I'm at. And so, tonight what we wanted to talk about was the difference between attraction marketing, okay? The difference between attraction marketing and prospecting / connecting with people. Odd and I were spending some time this week talking about it because it can get confusing, especially in today's world with social media. We can feel like we're doing a lot when actually we're not doing as much connecting and prospecting as we thought. And let me just throw this out here. As much as social media is changing, it's changed so much in the past 6 years of me doing Isogenics. Here's what I know, that the platforms in which we connect with people are going to change, but the skills in how we connect with people will never change. And so our goal, listen, there's other teams in Isogenics or other teams in network marketing in general who are so heavily, leveraged when it comes to their social media. If social media were to leave today, they wouldn't know how to connect with brand new people to save their life. What we want is to empower each and every single one of you to not only be able to, spread the word of Isogenics through Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat or whatever platform you use, but to transfer those skills to real life conversations with real people, because those will never, ever change.
Yeah. And one of the things that I see a lot is I see a lot of people just utilizing attraction marketing on their social media platforms.
Well, let's talk about what is attraction.
Okay,
Can I explain that a little bit?
So good. So attraction marketing is basically you make a post and people just flood your inbox and they ask you what you're doing. So primarily your very first, social media post telling people like what's been going on with your body, that's attraction marketing. People are coming to you asking you what you're doing. And a lot of people in Isogenics use attraction marketing to build their network marketing business. So they just make these posts and a lot of people ask them what they're doing and that's how they enroll people. And that's amazing. Attraction marketing is incredible. I mean, to this day, people stumble upon, our Instagrams and they like who we are. So they ask us what we do and we end up enrolling them. But the reality is attraction marketing only gets you so far. And I've seen a lot of very successful people in Isogenics utilize attraction marketing and they haven't developed the skills. They haven't developed the skills in the art of connecting. And what happens is when that warm market runs out and they no longer have that big hoorah when it comes to their social media, they no longer are bringing in these brand new enrollments. And so attraction marketing and just the post it and pray method, it doesn't work. It's amazing. And if you post something and you've gotten enrollments from it, that's awesome. But here on Freedom Living Team and what James and I and all of the leaders who've been with, Freedom Living Team for a while, Deborah and Joni and Ellen and Lane and Chelsea and Taylor Smith, we always talk about this long-term vision of where you are going. And so when it comes to connecting and when it comes to the art of connecting, we want to teach you the skills because this is a skill-based business. Network marketing, and if you want to leave a lasting legacy for your family, you have to learn the skills necessary. You've got to learn how to connect. You've got to learn how to ask good questions. You've got to learn how to relate to people. You've got to learn how to touch people's hearts and listen well. Otherwise, you'll run your course and you'll kind of hit a wall. And so if you feel like you're at a wall right now and you're like, man, I've been posting really awesome statuses on my Instagram, or I've been posting really cool pictures, and man, I've been flooding people with what's in the Ionics and people aren't asking me what's going on, we're going to teach you how to break through that attraction marketing and go into actively prospecting and connecting, because we want you to be the highest level connectors that Isogenics has ever seen, which, to be honest, I really believe that you are so equipped on this team from what you have personally gathered in your own personal development course, what you get on these Sunday calls, what you get on Freedom Living Team Training, and what you get from Herb and Patty, what you get from Isagenix Corporate, you are equipped. But we want to take you guys to just a breakthrough level when it comes to your connecting experiences.
So let's talk a little bit, Odd. You were saying, the whole dog and cat analogy. My wife is a dog, if you guys did not know. And who is not familiar with the dog and cat analogy when it comes to personalities? Anybody not familiar in the chats? Okay, well,
Ty's like, I don't get it. What do you mean? She loves cats.
No. It's nothing against cats or dogs. This is just how, okay, so what happens when you open up a door and there's a dog inside, or let's say you have your dog, you open up the front door. What does the dog do? Comment in the chats. What does the dog do? She kind of gave it away.
She comes, runs and licks. And
they beeline straight at you. They jump on you. They get all over you, and everyone. If you're a dog person, that like fires you up. You're like, yes. Now, what is it, Ty? Comment in the chats. What does the cat do? You open the door and you're like, hey, kitty. What does the cat do? Doesn't care. Yes, exactly.
Literally
looks at you. It might like brush around the chair and then be like, see you later, and just like walk away to the other room.
So sassy.
Right? So
yes.
When it comes to connecting, and it's funny because Odd and I have had several conversations about this over the years. It's way more advantageous to be a cat. Okay? Way more advantageous to be a cat when it comes to connecting about Isagenix. Now, this can be difficult, right? Because we are excited. These products have changed us from the inside out. This compensation plan, Cheyenne has enrolled people, made almost an extra $1,000 in the past month. This is exciting, life-changing stuff. And you have a right to be so, so excited about it. But just for a second, press pause on the movie and go back to before you heard or experienced Isagenix. That's who you're speaking with on the other end of the phone or on the other end of the counter. And so with that in mind, we need to be talking to our past selves before Isagenix. Mm-hmm. The people that maybe had their reservations, that maybe didn't know how good Ionics in the morning was, or who didn't know how good a 48-hour cleanse was. And what that looks like is, having normal conversations first and foremost. When people say, oh, I don't want to make Isagenix weird in my conversations, I'll just say, it gets weird when you make it weird, okay? These conversations and these connecting experiences don't get weird unless we make them weird. And so the way a cat goes about it, or the way I'll do this first, the way a dog goes about it is maybe saying, hey, I just saw on your Instagram, I saw that you liked my photo. I've been using this, product called Isagenix for the past 3 weeks. I would love to tell you about it. Can I get on the phone and tell you about it right now? I think you're absolutely going to love it. All caps, right? Now, I'm going to first raise my hand and say, I have sent messages like that. Okay. I have messaged people in the midst of, a very highly emotional state. And I've just sent, have you sent any messages like that?
No, I've never done that.
You've never done that. She's never done that. Okay. So it was just me.
No, I've done that a lot of times.
Go look at Odd's time hop like 7 years ago with Isagenix. And
hey, I was authentic to me though.
She was authentic to you.
Yeah.
But
Joy knows. Joy followed the whole journey.
What does messaging or being more of a cat and connecting look like?
Well, here's what I'll say. I remember my dad used to tell me that I was like a 3-month-old golden retriever when I first got started. I was like, oh, that's so cute. And he's like, yeah, everybody loves them for like a half a second. And they're like, okay, go back to your owner. And I was like, well, what do I need to do? And he was like, just breathe a little bit more, listen, be slower to speak, and hear what it is that they actually want on the other end. Now, that doesn't mean to not be excited about Isagenix. That just means a dog really doesn't think about anybody else but themselves. They really don't. They're just really excited. They don't think about that. But not that a cat really only thinks about themselves too.
Yeah.
But when it comes to being, it means asking a question and then listening to what the response is and hearing what it is that's going on in another person's life. I used to, in my connecting experiences, I used to say whatever I felt like everybody needed to hear. I have $29 off and it's free shipping and you've got to enroll right now. And it was so direct, and there's nothing wrong with being direct. In fact, a lot of business has happened in my life by being direct. But over the course of the last 6.5 years, I really learned this balance. Now, what did I say? Did that happen overnight for me? No. This took me years of figuring out this balance between excitability, asking questions, being more interested in who they are versus the double PIB that I really wanted to get. It meant taking myself out of the equation and focus solely on the person who was in front of me. And so when it comes to your connecting experiences, these are 3 of my greatest tips when it comes to connecting. Number 1 is genuine authenticity. And here's what I mean by that. We have really created such amazing systems on Freedom Living Team Training to get people off the ground with their scripts, and it's awesome. But if those scripts aren't congruent to who you are as a person, then the person who's on the other end is going to feel that from you. There's a new woman on our team named Sarah Morrow, who James and we love so deeply. And one of the reasons that I personally respect this woman so much is she's so authentic to who she is, and she doesn't deviate from what makes Sarah, Sarah. And when it came to her beginning her Isogenics journey, she looked over freedomlivingteamtraining.com and she read it and she saw the scripts and she said, that's awesome. I can take that template, but I've got to make it my own. And by being so authentic to who she is as a person, she became a crystal executive on Freedom Living Team because of her genuine authenticity. You don't have to be anything other than you when it comes to building this business. And people are going to join you and want to relate to you based off of who you are as a person. And so being authentic and loving what you love and connecting the way that you connect, you're already going to disarm the person that you're connecting with because they're going to feel that you're genuine from the start. The second thing, my second connecting tip, is asking good, heartfelt questions. Not just surface level questions of, hey, what would it mean if you lost 20 pounds? Like, that's not what I mean. I'm asking genuine questions about their heart and about their life. Chelsea Taylor, I'm going to use her as an example because Chelsea Taylor still will screenshot conversations and send them to James and I. And she'll say, hey, is this a great response back? And one of the things that I've seen over Chelsea's journey over the last 2.5 years is I have watched the art of connecting take place in her and Lane, but I'm just going to talk because she just sent me a screenshot a couple hours ago. I want to talk about her directly. I've watched this transition over the last 2.5 years of these true, genuine, heartfelt questions. So when she's connecting with somebody in person or when she's connecting with somebody over social media, she doesn't just say like, hey, why doesn't this feel like it's good for you? She says, hey, if you don't mind me asking, what is it about this price that kind of scares you? And you can tell that her heartfelt connection to the person that she's connecting with really receives the vulnerability coming from her. It's not just a question that she just shoots back out at them. She's looking at the person, looking at their social media, seeing their life, and asking a genuine question. And what happens is when you begin to ask those genuine, heartfelt questions to people, again, they get disarmed and they want to hear what it is that you have to say. So going deeper into the questions as opposed to just having your own agenda of, hey, I'm here to get an enrollment. Hey, I'm here to make that double PIB. Listen, if you're in a conversation with someone for a week or 2 weeks, be genuinely interested in them because this whole entire business is about being a servant-hearted leader. And the more servant-hearted that you are, the more you're going to see your business grow. And then finally, number 3, is not having an emotional attachment to the outcome. of this conversation. And this is probably the biggest thing. And this is a lesson that I am continuously learning over my entire Isogenics journey, is not having an emotional attachment if somebody says yes to me or if somebody says no to me. Not having an emotional attachment if somebody doesn't want to be a part of Freedom Living Team anymore. I love you so much, and I bless you, and I pray that your life is so blessed, and my doors are always open. Not having an emotional attachment because your vision is so much bigger, that there are so many people out there, that your team is so blessed to have you as a leader, that the person that you're connecting with, it's just not their timing right now, but there's somebody right next to them who's looking for the solution that we're giving them. So when you don't have this emotional attachment to anything, again, you're disarming them. Like when I go into these conversations with people, they can feel for me that I don't need anything from them. We're doing just fine with or without you doing something. And I remember years and years ago when I first got started and I would share the compensation plan, I would always say, hey, listen, if you don't want to do this, that's fine. Like with or without you, I am going to have financial freedom because that's a desire of my heart. Now, if this is something that you want to do, come on board. If it's not, I still love you anyways. And at that moment that I would say this, these people would say, well, she doesn't need me. She's going to do this anyways. And when you do that in your connecting experiences and you let people know you don't need them, you're here to offer them a solution. I love you, but you don't need to do this. You don't have to order the value pack if you don't want to. It's the best pack in the world, but you don't have to do it. It's totally fine. They take it. It's like the giving the candy to a kid or taking the candy away and the kid wants the candy. That's all we're doing in this, is not having an emotional attachment to the outcome of anything, because your heart is set more so on where you're going than it is right here on this present moment. We're future-minded people on Freedom Living Team. We are vision future-minded people. So the more that we can walk in love, and the more that we don't hold offense, and the more that we could care less if people do or do not join, the more you're going to see people joining you. The more freedom is going to abound through your team. The more you're going to see the massive ripple effect. And those are 3 of my main tips that I've seen that have worked really, really well in regards to connecting.
Yeah. And on top of that, when I first started, has this been good so far for you guys? I see in the chats, this has been good. So when I first got started, what I realized, you guys, is that when I would operate more like a dog, okay, now this is for me, this doesn't necessarily have to apply to other people, although I think that in a lot of senses is somewhat universal. When I would get really antsy and I would kind of jump the gun, somebody would, I would basically hear somebody whisper that they needed to lose 5 pounds, and I would run over and be like, you need to try isolene shakes. Have you ever done a cleanse? Have you heard of intermittent fasting? Have you heard of isogenic? It's amazing. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it. When I operated like that, it was because I was moving from a place of scarcity as opposed to from a place of abundance. Meaning I felt like if I didn't get this person right in front of me, that was going to somehow dictate how successful I was going to be tomorrow or next week, that I had to get this person. They said they wanted to lose it. Now, if I don't close this person, it's going to fall apart. That's what my mind told me. And there was this I don't know if anybody else feels this, but there was this sense of tenseness that would happen in my connecting experiences in the beginning, because I felt like I love Tracy's honesty when she said, emotionally disconnecting from the outcome of the conversation is the most difficult part for her. And Tracy, I'll just go ahead and say it's the most difficult part for the majority of the people, because we care so deeply for other people to feel how good we have felt. So instead of being a dog, in this sense, a cat, when somebody says, hey, I've really been working here in the gym and I haven't seen results in 3 months and I'm just about to, kill myself over here. A dog might jump and say, what I just said about, trying a cleanse and all this stuff. Let me go ahead and get you set up. Let's just swap contact info. Let me get your credit card info right now and we'll get you set up. No problem. Whereas a cat might just take a breath. Okay. That's one thing. When I'm connecting, I'm always focused on my breathing. Okay. I know that sounds super weird. When I'm connecting with a new person and I'm wanting to understand, where they're coming from, I'm controlling my breathing. Why? Because if I recognize that my energy is kind of fluctuating and I'm getting a little bit tense, that conversation is going to get more and more uncomfortable. And I'm going to be forcing it as opposed to guiding it. So if I can just remain relaxed, they say, it's kind of like catching a fish. All right. When you catch a fish and you go, oh, I got one. When somebody goes, oh man, I don't know how I'm going to make this month's rent. Like I would kill for an opportunity, to make an extra income. Instead of jumping on that, I sit back and I go, okay, now talk to me a little bit about this. Explain this to me. Elaborate on this situation a little bit that you're in. What, is it your work environment? What is the stresses in life right now that are causing this current predicament? What I have not done is I haven't jumped to the solution that I think that they want. See, conversations get really uncomfortable and they start to get hard when you start projecting what you think the other person wants or needs, as opposed to simply just digging and getting more information out from them while they're still talking about themselves. You guys, you talk to somebody about themselves and they will listen all day. Okay. So when somebody says, man, I just love to lose 20 pounds. Okay. Okay, Carrie, what have you, talk to me in the past. What have you tried that hasn't worked for you? Talk to me about, where you're at with your journey. Are you in the middle of trying something? Is it the food that's a challenging thing? Is it exercise? Talk to me about that a little bit. I'm focusing in on what is important to them. This is another connecting piece that's very important. Talk to people about what's important to them. If somebody is explaining to you how important their health is and all you're trying to do is talk to them about residual income, you are not listening to what they're saying. You need to listen and talk to people about what's most important to them. And you guys, why connecting is so easy? Because if you can get something and you can get somebody excited or at least interested in something about their own life, and you just sit there and you just talk to them about that, they're going to leave that connecting experience and go, well, dang, Joni really just cared about me a lot. I like her. She just talked to me about me. That was so pleasant. I want to go back and have a conversation with her. Okay. I love this quote, and I would encourage you guys to write this down. You can make more friends in 2 months by being interested in them than in 2 years trying to make them interested in you. I'll say that again. You can make more friends in 2 months by being interested in them than in 2 years by making them interested in you. Now, Dallas asked a good question. How do you know when to start talking about isogenics? Well, that's very, very circumstantial. I find that if you get people talking enough about where they're at in their life, you start asking questions. One of my favorite questions is, tell me what's the most exciting thing going on in your life right now. Notice I didn't start the conversation with what, because people are programmed, okay? We're programmed to respond accordingly based off of the question that is asked. So what are you most excited about right now? Could be as easy as answered as my job. Well, that doesn't really get you very far in a conversation. So if you say, tell me about what you're most excited about in your life right now, what you've done is in their brain, they've said, okay, I'm about to elaborate a little bit on what I'm excited about. And so then you'll say, then what you've done is you've invited them to openly talk about what it is they're excited about. So you say, tell me what you're most excited about right now. Talk to me about that. Tell me a little about that. Something like that, where you've invited them. They say, well, oh my goodness, I love what I get to do with people. I love helping them. Oh my goodness. Like, this is so great. And then I asked an honest question. Okay, is that like super fulfilling to you? Like, do you love what you do? Do you love that? I always ask that. I've always asked that. I don't ask if they like what they do. I ask, do they love what they do? And I don't try and say it like in a way that, oh, do you really love what you do? Like, I'm genuinely asking, because there are many people out there that do love what they do. Yeah. And I want to find those people. And I also want to find the people that are like, oh goodness, no, like, no, I don't. Yeah. So if somebody says, we'll go with the second one. If somebody goes, oh goodness, no, I don't love what I do at all. There's this I'm genuinely shocked. I go, wait, seriously? Hold on a second. You don't love what you do. Okay. So talk to me about that. Why are you working here if you don't love what you do? Guys, I'm being very genuine with them, and I'm staying on them. I'm not offering what I have yet. Tell me, why are you said you've been working here for 13 years. Why are you here if you don't love what you do? Well, I got 2 kids to put through college. I mean, what else am I going to do? Okay. Jerry, all right. You bring up some good points. He's going to have more need for more finances because he's putting kids through college. Okay. So, what are your options right now? Like what would you do, if you could do something else, or you could do whatever you want? You're just opening them up, you guys. You're massaging this pain. I call it massaging the pain. You're getting them to talk about what they're not necessarily liking. Okay. Because what they're doing is they're just setting the table and you're building rapport with them so that when you say, listen, this is going to sound off the wall, but do you ever keep your options open for ways to make money on the side of what you're doing right now that wouldn't take away from what you're doing on your day job? Are you kidding me? Yes. I've just given you 7 reasons of why I would love to leave this place. Okay, great. Well, I know we're busy. You're busy right now. I'd love to get your contact info. I have something. I can't make any promises. I don't know if it'd be for you, but I know a lot of people that are in your exact situation that have found this to be so transformative in their life. And I think you would absolutely love it. Boom. Done. But you've spent the majority of the conversation talking about them. 80 to 90% of the conversation has just been completely about them. So when we get into conversations and we're like, what do I say? It's because you're thinking about yourself and you're not thinking about the other person. Is this helpful for you guys? Is this kind of showing you the dynamics of how I go? These are real conversations, you guys, that I have every single, like Alex was saying, that's exactly how I went, and had the conversation with Alex at the bank. She was taking care of me. And I just cared enough to pause in my Tuesday afternoon to say, hey, I see you in here all the time. Like, do you love this? Do you absolutely love working here? And you just kind of smile and they're like, no, at all. I do not like it. And it just opens up so many avenues to talk to people if you can be patient enough and just talk to them about where they're at.
Well, and everything that James said, how many of you are thinking in your mind, oh my gosh, James just speaks so well. And like, this really is what he does. And geez, this is so good. Like, I want to be able to deliver it like James. How many of you thought that in your mind as he was, speaking? Okay. Cause I do. Every time I hear James speak, and I started before James, I'm like, I got to take notes. Like, he's so good. I got to do this. James practices this art of connecting every single day. Every single day, James is practicing the art of connecting. So if you are listening to this call, practice the art. Again, this is a skill-based business. Skills can be taught. Everything that you're learning on this call, we all started in absolute disaster. I was the 3-month-old golden retriever dog who just jumped on people. I lost a lot of prospects that way. But you've got to learn as you're growing in this business. It takes time, which is why, again, we are vision, future-minded people on Freedom Living Team. We are future-based people who are working towards the future. We're not living in these, yes, the present moment is beautiful, but we're working towards the future. And this art of connecting is just that. So the skills that you have learned tonight, you can begin applying those. And the last thing that I want to do, because I know we're a little over on tonight's call, but the last thing that was really burning in my heart in regards to social media is I see so many people who use their social media platforms and their Instagram stories to say, deal, buy this, these are the shake flavors, this is what's going on, blasting this and blasting that. And I just want to encourage you that although that is amazing and you are letting people know that you are building your Isogenics business, what we really want to do is we really want to invite people into your life and intertwine Isogenics interwoven into it. Alex Callan does a beautiful job of intertwining her life on her Instagram stories mixed in with Isogenics and working out and what the success stories of her girls while talking about her going hiking in Montana. She does a beautiful job of intertwining the both of them. And when it comes to connecting on social media, the successful people in Isogenics don't wait for those messages to come into them. What they do is they begin building a relationship with other people. And that doesn't mean that you're going to people's page and saying, hey, I'm partnered with a network marketing company called Isagenix. Have you ever heard of it? I want to tell you about it. It's amazing. I've made X amount. I'm on a team, a freedom living team. We're freedom living. Do you know what freedom living is? Have you ever freedom lived before? That's not what we're about. But what we are about is taking everything that you learned tonight and incorporating that into the people that you're connecting with on your social media platform and genuinely asking about their life. You might stumble across somebody's Instagram page and they might have, Cheyenne and Parker who are together. Cheyenne might stumble upon a girl's page who has a daughter, and she might really look at her and say, you know what? I want her on my Isagenix team. What can I do to begin a conversation? If you message someone cold turkey and say, hey, I'm a part of Isagenix, you will not get a response. But if Cheyenne messages her because she's looked at her page and say, hey, I stumbled upon your page. I'm also a mom to a little girl, and I absolutely love it. Like, let's talk. Like, what's your favorite? I don't know. What's your favorite diaper? Like, I don't know what moms talk about. Sorry, I'm not a mom yet. But what is it what's your favorite part of the day? Like, what's your favorite part about being a mom? And she's just building a relationship with this girl. And so what we want to help you with, and we're going to dive into more connecting next week. But what we really wanted to help you with tonight is that you would be confident moving forward in your connecting experiences, belly to belly, but also through your social media platforms. Intertwine Isagenix into what you're doing. Talk about your life. People want to hear more about you than they want to hear about anything else. And then while you're intertwining your life, share about what Isagenix is doing. Share what it's done. Now, we always encourage people, maybe don't use the word Isagenix so people can ask you what it is that you're doing. But if you really come across somebody that you really want to connect with them first and foremost from a relationship standpoint, and watch how just by asking questions, it's going to open up the door for you to naturally bring up Isagenix.
So with that, we wanted to, again, when this gets overwhelming, it's because we usually try and take on too much, right? When this business becomes overwhelming, when this process becomes overwhelming. So this week, it's not focused on everything else. We want to focus on connecting and being a better connector. And so, we would love, and here's what I would love personally. I would love if this week on Freedom Living Team Business, there was all of you guys that were willing to, apply what you have, maybe been reminded of or learned tonight and share with everybody else on the page throughout the week some of the powerful connections that you've had, and maybe some of the things that you've noticed about yourself during your connecting experiences. Like Aud was saying, you guys, this is stuff I just practice every single day. And like the video that I made last week, I have fun with it. Like, it's fun to me to experiment and try different things and be like, well, that was awkward. That was weird. Probably won't do that again, but not taking myself so seriously in these experiences, but then also saying, okay, how can I go about this better? This person really didn't feel very warm to me. They didn't feel very receptive to me. I wonder if I was putting off something that maybe was inauthentic or was pressuring them in some way. That's not who I want to be. I want to have a little bit of self-awareness and go forward with that knowledge. And so I know that when we all get together and we share this stuff, it's encouraging, right? Who else is encouraged when you hear other people that are having, and sharing their success stories and whatnot? I am fully that way. So if you guys would, I would just challenge you and encourage you. I'd be interested to see how many people would be willing to be very intentional and cognizant during your connecting experiences throughout the week. And then maybe just choose, 3 days or 3 connecting experiences that you want to post about on the Freedom Living Team business page, whether it's in a video or just a little blurb. Hey, connected with somebody in a grocery store. I noticed that I was staying very calm, that I made the conversation about them and asked, much more intentional questions maybe than I have in the past. And I feel really good about it. Like something like that, just so that we can see we're all progressing together.
Yeah. You
guys, we're all progressing together. And when we get to, I just believe it's so much more fun when we get to celebrate together. So I wanted to, Francie, how do I practice? Honestly, I practice with every single person as a test subject of mine. My mom always said it. She says, there's not a stranger I have not met. And that's just something I think that God has put in me, but I've also really worked hard to cultivate. Right. And at the gym, you guys, let me just tell you, and then we're going to hop off here. There are hundreds of people in your life who you have yet to connect with, either because you have not seen them, because maybe you've in your route during the day, you've got your head down and you're in work mode. And so you haven't, stopped for 5 seconds to actually have a conversation with them or whatnot. There are people all around you, constantly around you. There is opportunity to practice, to get to a different level, to have your business expand to an unlimited degrees, wherever you are, how big of a town, how small of a town, it doesn't matter. It's all around you. And so I practice every single day. And if you could do it in real life, if you can do it belly to belly, then that is so easily transferable to any other form and any other medium. There's skills. Go ahead.
No, are you
I'm done.
finished? Okay, yeah. So a lot of people are hosting opportunity overviews. I know Brenda and Josie are hosting an opportunity overview in Utah. So if you have people in the Utah area, connect them. Tomorrow evening at Leslie Ford's home. Leslie, if you want to type your address, she is having an overview in Knoxville, Tennessee tomorrow at 6:45 at 7 o'clock, 6:45. I don't know. Type it out. Let us know when. So if you're in the Knoxville area, and I know that there are overviews going on everywhere. We've got Isa of the Pines happening in Southern Pines. There are overviews that you can connect to, that you can get yourself to. We post them on Freedom Living Team that you're more than welcome to come to. And it's a great way to bring new people to cast the vision with Isogenics. So we are super excited about at 6 o'clock. Okay, sorry. It's at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening on West Emory. If you're in Knoxville and you want to come to the overview, feel free to come over to Leslie's house. And we will see you guys
on the call next week. Second week of the 90-day action plan, you guys. Growth is here. Progress is here. Connecting is here. We love you all. And we want to see you at the top.
And at the Scottsdale Summit.
That's right.
We love you guys.
Love you guys. We'll see you soon.